YouTube, what's going on? It's Shermanator here, and guys, in this video you're about to watch, I go over and rank how useful each NPC is in Fortnite Chapter 5, Season 2. So guys, in the video you're about to watch, these are just my preferences, right? These are just the NPCs that I feel like you guys should be prioritizing and which ones you really shouldn't be. Again, if you have a different route you like to rotate, if you have different NPCs and different favorites and different favorite guns, obviously do what is best for you. This is just a recommendation from somebody who likes to play a little quicker, likes to play a little more aggressive, likes to get involved in fights, and doesn't really like to sit back and just wait until the end of the game to get their first kill of the game. Alright guys, so in this video, I'm going to be going over the best NPCs and I'm going to be ranking them in order of basically how useless they are to how actually good they are and how they can change a game for you. Now NPCs have a bunch of different things they can do. They can give you utility and ammo. They can kind of be a body shield that throws grenades at people. They can scan people through walls. They can heal you. There's a bunch of different things they can do, and even the other NPCs aren't completely useless that are around the map that you can't hire because you can buy items off of them. Alright guys, so there's a total of 15 NPCs that you can find across Fortnite Chapter 5 Season 2's map to this day. It did change recently with the Midas update, and some of the NPCs were actually moved around and shuffled. But coming in at number 15, guys, we have Brutus. Brutus, you can buy the very useful bandages and a purple auto frenzy shotgun. Now, purple auto frenzy is fantastic, but where Brutus is on the map, on this dot in the leftmost corner, compared to where anything else kind of is, Brutus is someone you want to land at if you want to play a slow game and you're not really looking to get into a fight because you have a purple auto frenzy, so you're kind of just waiting for people to fall into your lap. Alright guys, coming in at number 14 is Etheria. Etheria can be found right here, just south of Lavish Layers and just north of Restored Reels. It's in a prime location, I will say that, but the reason why they're in the number 14 slot is because all they do is sell a purple Hunter's DMR, Shield Bubble Juniors, and you can duel them for a blue Warforged Assault Rifle or a blue Hunter's DMR. Now, Shield Bubble Juniors, fantastic. Depending on what kind of attachments you get on the DMR, you know, they're not it's not the worst, but if I'm being completely honest, this is not really it's just overall not a good NPC, and it costs 300 and 120, so that's a decent amount of gold to just get some very mid utility and mid weapons. Alright guys, at number 13, you can find Karia right here on the map, just west of Mount Olympus and northwest of Brawler's Battleground. This definitely is a hot rotation, but unfortunately for most, Karia only sells a purple Warforged Assault Rifle, which sometimes you might not even get a scope on, so 300 gold for a purple can kind of be steep. They do sell Chug Splashes, which is an added bonus, and you can duel them, but again, for a blue Hunter's DMR, and a blue Warforged Assault Rifle. And most of the time, if you're landing over here, your main goal is to probably get one of the medallions at Battleground or at Olympus. So you're either coming out of here with a mythic DMR or the mythic AR. So while this is like a hot rotation for this kind of an NPC, I feel like the return just isn't what it should be. So that's why Karia is in the 13th slot. Alright guys, next at the 12th slot we have Jitter Shock. Jitter Shock can be found southwest of Pleasant Piazza and northwest of Snooty Steps, right here at this little tiny POI. And Jitter Shock actually does come with some good items. You could buy a purple Gatekeeper shotgun, you can duel them for a blue Gatekeeper shotgun and a blue Nemesis, or you can activate a Rift. I'm not gonna lie, out of all the NPCs you can't hire, he is definitely a top tier. What ranks him so low on my list is just the location of him. He is just far out of the way, not really nowhere near any of the medallions. This is hundreds of meters away from absolutely any kind of like god tier loot. But if you're someone who likes to play it slow and somebody who likes to, take their time and not just run into every single fight and not just rush around the map, Jitter Shot actually could be very useful. And I will say, in an endgame situation, maybe your whole squad is down and you're running for your life and you got to reestablish or you got to go somewhere to reboot. This Rift for 300 gold really is actually a good bargain. So you can get a purple shotgun as well as a Rift for about 600 gold, which really is not that terrible. Alright guys, at number 11 we have Clara. Clara can be found right here on the map, right in this little graveyard that's south of Classy Courts and north of Reckless Railways. Clara is a pretty decent NPC. The reason why I have her 11 is I have a hard time with 11 through 1, if I'm being completely honest. Those first 4 for me were very easy to rank towards the bottom, but these 11 through 1 were kind of hard for me to rank. I put Clara at number 11. She sells a Harbinger SMG, not terrible. If you duel her, you can get a blue Reaper sniper rifle, but most of the time they don't come with a scope, or you can get a blue Harbinger SMG. You can use her for quests, but you can also buy shockwaves. So I feel like this is important. I feel a lot of the times, a lot of games end up rotating at least one time or another through this like little sliver up here. At least most of the games I'm involved in. So that's why I have Clara at number 11. Not the best, not the worst, but I just feel like there are other NPCs that have better locations and better items to offer. Alright guys, we are officially in the top 10, and coming in at the 10 slot is Hope. Hope can be found all the way at Grand Glacier, and Hope can sell a purple Reaper sniper rifle. You could rift off of Hope, or you can do some quests. The reason why I have Hope low at the 10 is, again, just because of the location. Grand Glacier, again, is just so far out of the way. So again, if you're somebody who likes to take the matches slow and take their time and build up, not really jump into fights or just rush around the map looking for fights, Hope could be a very good spot for you. But for someone like myself who likes to kind of just loot up and get going and get into the fights, the added bonus of having the sniper rifle does make her tempting, and the fact that you can also just rift off of her and just fly away and then get into the fights. But for that, you're paying a steep price of 600 gold per game just to get a sniper rifle that may or may not come with a scope on it, and then just to rift on the people for everyone on the map to know where you are. Alright guys, coming in at number 9, we are officially getting underway into the top 10. We have Poseidon. Poseidon can be found right in the train station in Reckless Railways, and Poseidon is a beefy NPC that you can hire. So you can hire Poseidon for 250 gold, and he will be that person that shoots back a little bit, throws grenades, but he is a very high health NPC. You could also buy a purple Warforged Assault Rifle. You could buy Chug Splashes, or you can do some quests. I feel Reckless Railways is a very prime location for a lot of rotations and a lot of zones that end up pulling over here. So being able to buy some health, maybe buy an upgrade of your AR if you're not really looking that good on loot, and maybe even being able to hire him in a duo to squad situation, so that way they can help heal your teammates if they're down. I feel it just adds that added bonus. The only reason I have him number 9 is these bulky NPCs. You have to be really close for their grenades or weapons to do anything, and a lot of times if they're just standing behind a wall hiding with you, they'll just chuck grenades at your own feet, and it kind of just defeats the purpose of the NPC being helpful. Alright guys, coming in at number 8 is Spartan Assassin. Spartan Assassin you can find at one of the most northeast corners of the map, and usually I don't rank these NPCs that are out of the way real highly, but Spartan Assassin is different. Spartan Assassin, you can buy a purple Hunter's DMR, which obviously again isn't the best, but you can hire Spartan Assassin. And what Spartan Assassin does is Spartan Assassin will give you ammo and utility. So say you have bunkers, shield bubble juniors, or shockwaves in your inventory. If you are not a full stack, if you have it out in your hand while looking at the NPC, they will give you another 2 to 3, depending what you're holding, of that specific utility item. And like I said, they give you ammo, and a lot of the times we're kind of in a pinch, so really not such a bad thing. And again, I know I've rated NPCs that are out of the way lower on my list, but the difference with Spartan Assassin is rotation. Guys, I know Fortnite skill obviously has a lot to do with a lot of the game, right? Skill is a very big part of the game, but also having a high Fortnite IQ will help you win games because, guys, so this NPC gives you more utility, right? We talked about in the 11 slot that Clara is right here, and Clara sells shockwaves. So you can always hire Spartan Assassin and then rotate to Clara at that little graveyard. You can buy 1 stack of shockwaves for 200 gold instead of 3 stacks for 600 gold, and then Spartan Assassin every like 20 plus seconds will give you 2 more. So guys, again, it's just about also playing the game smart. Alright guys, coming in at the 7 slot is Laguna. Laguna can be found just northwest of Grand Glacier and just southeast of Classy Courts, northeast of Reckless Railways, right here at this little tiny POI. And most of the time, unless this building's destroyed, you'll find her on this like sniper outpost building. And Laguna is another hireable NPC. So Laguna, you can buy a purple Thunderburst SMG, or you can hire Laguna. And what makes Laguna so special and kind of worth going out of the way for, because again, you guys know how I feel about these NPCs that are on the edge of the map, is Laguna will heal you with splashes. She'll throw 2 chunk splashes every so often to help heal you. So if you're in the middle of a fight and you're someone who doesn't carry heals like myself in zero builds, she is very useful because you don't have to worry about wasting an item slot on heals, and you can carry multiple utility items or even another weapon. Alright guys, and the number 6 slot is Meowscles. Meowscles likes to show off a lot when you walk up to him. Meowscles can be found right here just east of Fencing Fields, right here at this little building POI. Now Meowscles sells a purple Gatekeeper shotgun. You can hire Meowscles as one of the beefy AI that just kind of just throw some shots and some grenades out there but have a lot of high health. Or you could do some quests. Why I have Meowscles almost in the top 5 is because of location, guys. Fencing Fields is a very popular POI. This side of the map, very popular. Right here, just this like kind of center little cutout right here is very popular, and most of the players you'll find, unless the zone is pulling to the corners, are going to be in the center of the map. So being able to rotate and buy a purple shotgun, or again, if you're in another game mode, being able to buy an NPC that can also just revive your down teammates, it also just kind of pays off in the long run. Alright guys, coming in at number 5 is Bravo Leader. Bravo Leader can be found down here at the bottom of the map in Snooty Steps. Bravo Leader is another NPC where you can buy a purple Warforged Assault Rifle, but you can also hire Bravo Leader, and he's just like Spartan Assassin. So if you have utility that's not full in your inventory and you're holding it out, Bravo Leader will drop you some. So that way you can stay full throughout the match and even give you ammo. And again, I know I'm not big on the NPCs that are kind of out of the way, but this part of the map right here is a very populated one, and you can easily rotate to Fencing, Restored, Grim, wherever you kind of want to rotate after you get him, and you get enough utility to be on your way in the game. Alright guys, coming in at the 4 slot is Artemis. Artemis can be found right at the front entrance of Lavish Lair in the north part of the map. And Artemis is such an important NPC because, again, you can land here, loot up a little bit, and rotate right into the craziness that is the center of the Fortnite map. And Artemis is such a good NPC because you can buy a Purple Huntress DMR, not always the best. You can do quests, but you can hire her, and she is a scanning AI. Now, these scanning AI provide such an advantage for you and a disadvantage for your enemies because they scan within a certain radius, and it'll track opponents through walls, it'll track opponents through bushes, through mountains. If they are within the scanning radius, you will be able to see them for a short time period. You can see where they're rotating. If they're hiding in a bush, you can beam them in a bush. If they're hiding in the top of a tree, you can see them in the tree. You can see them through windows. It's an absolute must, and again, it's such a central location to rotate right down into Restored, into Grim, into Railways, which are very heavily populated POIs, especially as the game gets going in Fortnite. Alright guys, coming in the 3 slot is Aphrodite. You're loud. Aphrodite can be found right east of Snooty Steps and south of Fencing Fields, kind of in this bottom little POI. She'll mostly be found in this building. Aphrodite is another NPC where you can buy a Purple Harbinger SMG, you can hire Aphrodite, or you can do quests. But Aphrodite is so good because she is another healing NPC. This is a very populated side of the map. Again, I know I've expressed this a lot, but this side of the map is very populated. So being able to hire an NPC that can heal you, loot up all these buildings in a solo, and then be able to rotate the fencing or wherever you want to rotate, whether it be all the way to Grim to get a medallion, down here to get medallions right off the beginning of a game, is very useful. So having this healing NPC to help you in a fight, who also do shoot back, is really an added bonus because this is such a populated side of the map. Alright guys, coming in number 2 is Medusa. Medusa can be found in fencing fields, obviously this large POI right here, and she's usually always hanging out in this little building that's on the outskirt right here, just a little northeast of the actual POI. Why Medusa is so important for an NPC that you can't hire is because she sells the Purple Thunderburst SMG, you can do some quests, and most importantly, she sells shockwaves. Guys, if you're like me, and zone tends to pull to the center of the map more times than not, and you're somebody who likes to have a lot of mobility on you, so that way you can just keep endlessly jumping on weak opponents or getting out of a sticky situation or being able to rotate to win a late end game. Medusa sells shockwaves. She sells up to 8 stacks of shockwaves. You can buy 16 shockwaves from Medusa. And again, my rotation, guys, is I usually start at Brawler's Battleground, and I end up going right over here, and I end up going here so I can buy shockwaves, because as we all know, a lot of the times Epic likes to jip us, and they're not in ground loot too much. Some games you might find 20, some games you might find none. So being able to rotate here, also with the added benefit that there's the old vault in here that has gold in it, and there's a couple safes located in these buildings behind us, so you can build your gold back up pretty quickly. So being able to go to an NPC in like the middle of your game, buy more shockwaves to keep yourself on the move, really is just an absolute must in Fortnite. Alright guys, and our number 1 NPC to have on your team / to even interact with during a game is Minda. Minda you can find right here towards this little lake POI, right in the middle of both these lake POIs, right to east of Rebel Roost and right a little bit northwest of Lavish Layers. Minda, guys, is kind of overpowered. You can buy a purple Reaper sniper rifle, which a lot of the times will come with a scope, or you can hire Minda, and just like Artemis, who's in the 4 slot, Minda can scan for your enemies, so you can have a free wall hack NPC walking around with you and have a Reaper sniper rifle right off the beginning. And guys, if you like to snipe like I do, this recent nerf where Epic Games and Fortnite got rid of any blue or green ground loot snipers kind of hurt those of us who like to snipe and are actually pretty good at it, because now it's much harder to find these sniper rifles, and let's just be honest, the DMR with the sniper scope just doesn't cut it. So that is why Minda is my number 1 NPC you need to buy as of right now in Fortnite Chapter 5 Season 2.